Where does our food come from? I mean, a lot went into making this bowl of hummus, aside from just the ingredients and labor I put in. What had to happen to get this bowl of hummus to me? Let's dive into a journey of how this hummus came to be. But first, we will need to go back and start from the very beginning. Most hummus is made up of several ingredients: chickpeas, olive oil, tahini, lemons, garlic, and spices. But a lot went into these ingredients before I picked them up at the grocery store.
The ingredients in hummus are mostly derived from crops in the Mediterranean agricultural region, an area where flowering fruits, vegetables, and flowers are grown for the commercial consumption of people. These crops are mostly grown in, the areas bordering the Mediterranean Sea, as well as in California and Chile. Mediterranean crops are grown in these areas because the humid air from the sea provides relief to the plants in the hot summers. Major cash crops in these regions are olives and grapes. Due to urbanization, Mediterranean agricultural farmland is being encroached upon by urban settlements. Additionally, the farming of these crops uses a lot of water, which can have adverse effects in these dry Mediterranean areas. In my hummus, the olive oil, lemons, tahini, and garlic were grown in a Mediterranean area. The olive oil was imported from Italy, the lemons from Chile, the tahini from Israel, and the garlic from California. Additionally, the garlic in the tahini is certified organic, which means, according to the USDS, the food, quote, is the product of a farming system which avoids the use of man-made fertilizers, pesticides, growth regulators, and livestock feed additives. Irrigation and use of genetically modified organisms or products produced from or by GMOs are generally prohibited by organic legislation, end quote. The next ingredient, chickpeas, are grown in the Indian subcontinent, Mediterranean, Australia, the Great Plains region of the Americas, and Western Asia. For this reason, chickpeas could either be classified under Mediterranean agricultural, grain farming, or commercial gardening if they are being grown in developed countries, such as the central northern region of the United States. Commercial gardening, aka truck farming, is the growth of fruits and vegetables such as apples, asparagus, cherries, lettuce, mushrooms, and tomatoes, popular to consumers in developed countries. Additionally, the primary consumer of commercial farming are affluent and have access to the money to buy these more luxury fruits and vegetables. Commercial gardening occurs mostly in southern United States and southeastern Australia because of the humid climate and lengthy growing season. Many laborers in these markets are immigrants who work for low wages, while the consumers pay high prices for the produce. Also, they use a lot of machinery and assembly lines to make the process more efficient. Future problems with commercial gardening are the heavy use of machinery and transportation throughout the process, which is detrimental to the environment. Additionally, the pesticides used could also have an adverse effect. Let's say I wanted to dip some pita bread into my hummus. Where would that come from? The main ingredient in pita bread is flour, a grain. Grains, or the seeds of grasses such as wheat, corn, oats, barley, rice, millet, etc., are grown for the consumption of humans rather than livestock. They are primarily grown in north-central United States, southern Canada, and eastern Europe. Strategically timed with the seasons for optimal growing conditions, crops are rotated in the seasons to bring year-round profit and rest to the soil. And grains are the leading export crop in the United States. However, the use of reapers and other machinery can pollute the atmosphere, and although different grains can be rotated, the soil is still depleted of nutrients. Aside from the types of agriculture used to produce the crops for my hummus, there are 3 other types of agriculture dominant in developed countries: livestock ranching, dairy farming, and mixed crop and livestock agriculture. Ranching is the commercial grazing and raising of livestock to be processed for meat. Ranching is often in the dry lands of North America, southeastern Latin America, Central Asia, Sub-Saharan Africa, and the South Pacific, often because the soil is too poor to produce crops in these regions. Ranching can lead to ecological destruction, depletion of the soil, and production of volatile chemicals through cows' excrements and production of methane gas. Dairy farming, on the other hand, is the production of milk products primarily in the north of the U.S., southeast Canada, and eastern Europe, although India is becoming the largest producer of milk. These are well suited for dairying because there is enough physical space to house the cows or goats, and the storage areas / pasteurizing and cheese-making facilities have enough room as well. Dairy farming is mostly distributed through modern technology of refrigerator trucks to wholesale retailers. Dairy farming faces problems because it's very labor-intensive, and the feed for livestock can be expensive during the winter. Additionally, the transportation of dairy products leads to pollution. The final agricultural region in developed countries is mixed crop and livestock farming. This is a place where both plants and animals are farmed. However, the crops produced are mostly fed to the animals. Mixed farming includes animal products, corn, and soybeans. The cultivation of crops and raising of livestock allows farmers to have a steady annual income because the crops require less maintenance in the winter and the livestock provides revenue year-round. Corn is the most widely grown, followed by soybeans. Both are primarily used in animal feed. Mixed crop and livestock farmers also rotate which crops they grow in a field on a yearly cycle. This, along with using animal excrement from the livestock, helps maintain nutrients in the soil. Mixed crop and livestock farming is primarily located in the central United States, Ohio, the Dakotas, and Iowa, as well as in Central Europe. These areas are good for mixed farming because the warm, humid summers allow for the cultivation of crops. However, because of the livestock, they are still able to make a profit in the winter. The challenges to mixed crop and livestock farming is that both animals and crops take a lot of land. Additionally, because mixed crop farmers have a multifaceted business, they may not have a high yield in one area.
So back to my bowl of hummus. From the cultivation of the crops to the distribution, a lot had to go into these ingredients before they reached me. Time, labor, and resources were poured into this process before the final end result could be achieved: a bowl of hummus.